morning and welcome to this edition of Coffee with Rhadi. It's a privilege and a pleasure to come to you this morning and speak with you. I recently made some adjustments to my coffee. I no longer use creamer after using a calorie tracker application. I actually know that I shouldn't use creamer because it really provides what's called calorie creep. But until I saw it with my own eyes, how many calories I was taking in via creamer, I was eating probably the equivalent of 2 pieces of tilapia in terms of how much coffee creamer I was using. And I was using the sugar-free version. I use a calorie tracker application by Fat Secret. That's my freebie for the day. It's not what I want to talk about, but there's a change that I made in my coffee. What I use now, absolutely fantastic. No calories, and it's an antioxidant. I use my sweetener. I use Splenda. I don't hear stories about Splenda. You want to keep it. I'm fine. Literally. I use cinnamon. Absolutely fantastic. Cinnamon's good. Makes it taste like there's creamer in it. Top notch. Here's what I do want to talk about today. The first quarter of the year is almost over. It is March. I believe that every quarter of the year you need to do what's called a quarterly assessment. Not only should you assess your finances, you need to also assess your relationships. Now, if we look at the word relation, and we look at it under the logical or mathematical terms, 2 things have a relation, meaning if it's one is greater than the other with the greater than sign, one is less than the other, one equals the other, you can add one to the other. These are all relations that 2 variables have, or 2 individuals, if we're talking about people, have when they are in relation to the other. When you look at your life, you have some lesser thans, you have some greater thans, and you have some equals. You have some people who subtract from you and some people who add to you. The key in life is to make sure that you have a lot of greater thans around you, that you keep some equals, and that you get rid of the lesser thans. Now, the tough part about this is you always have to keep some lesser thans in your life, because those lesser thans are looking for a greater than, and those lesser thans are the individuals who need your help as a greater than. Now, what the second key is to make sure that those lesser thans are those individuals who actually want to become equals or greater thans. Because what happens is there should be a constant movement or flow forward as you're a lesser than trying to get with the greater thans, and the greater thans are getting rid of their lesser thans, but the lesser than that they're willing to keep is you, because you are trying to be an equal or a greater than so that you keep moving forward. See, what happens, even economically, financially, and socially, or we can just say socioeconomically, is that at the bottom of the pyramid, there exists the lesser thans. And at the top of the pyramid, there exists the greater thans. Notice I said social and economical. Not getting into discussion about poor and rich, money to have not. I'm not getting in that discussion. I'm talking socially and economically, okay? So we're marrying the 2 here. There are lesser thans at the bottom who are satisfied with their lesser than positioning. Now, here is where the welfare mentality comes. See, the welfare mentality doesn't just permeate the fabric of somebody's financial logic. It permeates the fabric of somebody's educational logic and growth. Because what happens is you develop a welfare mentality that keeps you at the place at which you are, because there are certain playgrounds available to keep you in that position, and you're satisfied with playing in those playgrounds. Bars, clubs, strip clubs, playgrounds. I even be honest with you, there's certain churches which are playgrounds for the lesser thans. They are. They don't tell you what it is that you need to know in order to be a greater than. So what happens is when you are in church or you're in an area or a place, and you find yourself around a bunch of lesser thans or equals, and you know you're a lesser than, man, it's time to go. Because what happens is, it's not your relationships that are killing you. It's not your relationships that are hurting you. It's where you are in relation to the people around you what's hurting you. So you're not making an assessment relationally. You need to understand why I am, and you know how when somebody's in a room you have spatial awareness? You also need to have some relational awareness. Like there's sometimes when I'm in a place, I get out of there as soon as possible. I just don't want those people around me. I don't want that around me. I don't want it rubbing off on me. I don't like to use the word energy, but I don't like that energy around me. I don't want that. In the first quarter of this year, after this first quarter is over and we do the first quarter assessment, there are some people who have to go, unfortunately. You've had your time. You're not growing. You're not striving to be an equal or a greater than. You are satisfied with your lesser than position. I must leave you with the rest of the lesser thans. Now, if you are smart, if you are intelligent, if you are, as my granddaddy would say, wise, you would also make a relational assessment and see those individuals around you and make a move. Now, you're more than welcome to save the world if you like. You can do that. I don't save the world. I save those that want to be saved. Take care and have a super fantastic day. Cinnamon, baby. No cream.